Hello. We're going to take a look at the 2019 Math Counts Chapter Competition Target Round. And let's take a look at the first two problems. We might do 3 and 4 on this as well, but we'll see how things are going. All right. So every week, Nora buys 6 oranges priced at 49 cents each. If the price of an orange increases, how much will it cost? How much will the cost of the 6 oranges increase? All right. Well, this is a pretty straightforward problem where we're looking at how much the total cost increases. So the easiest way to do it is we know that we have 6 oranges, and of the 6 oranges, we're going to have an increase of 20 cents. So 6 times 0.2, or 20 cents, is $1.20. So that's your answer. It's always nice when the first one is straightforward. All right, problem B, number 2. Now this one doesn't really require a calculator either. And I'm going to go through a long-winded explanation. The answer is clearly 17, but here we go. I have a grid, and let's say I have this line. And this line has a y-intercept of 7, and it's going up pretty steeply at 3. So we have a line that looks something like this. I'm not going to scale it out. And we know that the x and y-intercept, so this is your x-intercept, and this is your y-intercept. And we know that the x and the y-intercepts are doubled when we look at Sebastian's line. So Sebastian's line has to look something like this, where this distance matches this distance matches this distance. So clearly I'm not trying to scale, but whatever. Well, what can you tell me about these two lines? These two lines are parallel. Therefore, the slope of Sebastian's line has to match the slope of Chris' lines, because parallel lines have the same slope. So right away, I can say that Sebastian's line is going to be y equals 3x. And when it comes for the intercepts, so I know that this is at 7. Well, what's double 7? So this has to be at 14. And we know that equations of lines are written as y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. And so that's problems 1 and 2. That was pretty quick. Let's look at 3 and 4. In an amateur basketball league, a game consists of 2 20-minute halves. In the first 12 minutes of the game, between the cubes and the bisectors, okay. Can we please have better names? The cubes have scored 21 points, while the bisectors have scored 18. If each team maintains the scoring pace, by how many points will the cubes beat the bisectors? All right, so in 12 out of 40 minutes, we have, what do we have? Well, the cubes have 21 points, and the bisectors have 18. And that's a difference of 3, right? So, and it's asking by how many points will the cubes beat the bisectors? Okay, well, so far we have 30% of the game done, which means we have another 70% left. Therefore, in every 10%, the cubes are increasing their lead by 1. Therefore, if right now they have a lead of 3, and every minute every 1/10 of the game, they increase their lead. Well, we've done 3/10. We're going to have 7/10 more. That means they're going to increase their lead by 7 more points. So 3 plus 7 is a grand total of 10. So the cubes will beat the bisectors by 10. Make sense? Hopefully. Oh, this is a fun problem. A concave quadrilateral. All right. And it tells us, it gives us some more information. It says that, that it's symmetrical about this line. That's important. That means this angle has to be congruent to this angle. I'm going to get rid of that line. And it says DAB is 84. It also says that this is 32, which means this is 32. All right. Well, we know a quadrilateral has a measure of 360 degrees. And I have 3 of the angles taken into account. Let's find this angle. All right, so 32 plus 32 is 64. 64 plus 84 is, I should use my calculator, but I'm going to go to my notes. Why am I going to my notes? Because I feel like it. So that goes to, let's just do this. So we have 64 plus 84, and we want to figure out what the remaining of the 360 is. Oh, geez. $148. There we go. So this has a measure of 212. All right. Well, as this thing is drawn, that is super helpful, don't get me wrong. But does it relate to this intersection at all? Well, no, not really. So I am going to draw in that straight line. And notice how it goes right in between these. And so I know that this line bisects this angle. So this angle here has to be 16. If this whole angle is 212, that means this is 106. I can find this angle, can't I? Because it's a triangle. So 106 plus 16, okay, and I'm going to add that to my 180. And so this angle here is 58 degrees. Well, that's only half of the angle. So let's multiply it by 2. So the whole angle is 116. Now, due to this whole thing being a linear pair, we know that these two angles are supplementary. They add up to 180, which means that if I subtract this from 180, this angle is 64, and that's my answer.